Hello everyone, I'm going to start unit 2. In this particular unit you will learn about the DC motor drives. So in this lecture 1, I'll discuss some basic concept about DC motors, the torque speed characteristics. So first I'm taking shunt DC motor. This concept also valid for separately excited DC motor. So in shunt motor, what we are having? We are having one armature winding or armature circuit, and we are having one field winding. So field winding is connected in parallel with the armature winding. Okay. In the armature circuit, we are having one variable resistance. So total resistance in the armature circuit is R. Okay. So R is the total armature resistance. Okay. That means the variable resistance that we inserted in the armature circuit, also the resistance of the armature winding. Okay. These two resistances we are taking combined as capital R. In field winding, it is connected in parallel with the armature winding, and the field winding total resistance is Rf, and it is also total field winding resistance is Rf, and it is also variable. Okay. Now these two windings are supplied with voltage E. Okay. So voltage across these field winding and armature winding is same, that is V. Now the current withdrawn from the supply is I, which is divided in armature circuit and field circuit. So the current in armature circuit is IA, the current in the field circuit is IF. So total current I is divided into IA and IF. Okay. So I is equal to IA plus IF. Now we can write the basic equations of this circuit. So the armature circuit, we can write this applied voltage B will be equal to the back EMF voltage, that is E, plus IA times the total armature circuit drop. Okay. So IA times R. So V is equal to E plus IA times R. This is the first equation. Similarly, back EMF, it can be written as K times phi omega m. Okay. If you remember, E was P phi Zn upon 60A. So except speed and flux, all other terms are constant. So that constant we are taking as K. Okay. So this is the equation for back EMF. That is, it is proportional to flux and speed of the motor. Okay. Similarly, we can write third equation. The torque developed by the DC motor or DC shunt motor, that is K phi Ia. Okay, whatever current in the armature circuit and flux, the product of flux and armature circuit current, that will be proportional to the torque. Okay, so we are having three basic equations from this circuit. Okay, now from equation 1, we can write E is equal to V minus IAR. So I had written this E is equal to V minus IAR. Okay. Now substitute the value of back EMF from equation 2. We are getting K phi omega m is equal to V minus IAR. So speed omega m we can write, that is equal to V divided by this K phi here minus IAR upon K phi. Okay. Now again we can substitute this value IA from equation 3. So substitute from this. So IA is nothing but T upon K phi. So first term V upon K phi minus T times R upon K phi square. 1 K phi is coming from this equation. Okay. 1 K phi is here. So multiplication of these two will result in square. So this is the basic equation of speed torque of shunt DC motor. Okay. So first term you can see this V upon K phi. So if you compare it with y is equal to mx plus c type line, so this is y axis we have to draw omega m, then mx plus c, so slope of this line will be minus r upon k phi square, and x here it is t, torque. Okay, and interception on the y axis is v upon k phi. So this is basically no load speed, because here we are taking omega m. So this we can write omega m naught minus k times t. another constant c times c. Okay, so that c will be actually the slope. Okay, so you can see from here, so we have written omega m naught, that is no load speed, the first term. So no load speed is v upon k phi minus rt upon k phi square. Okay, so from this we can see the speed torque characteristic if you want to plot. So here we are having three variables that we can control. One is voltage, another is flux, another is resistance, resistance of the armature circuit. Okay, so we can shift speed torque characteristics by changing the voltage, flux or resistance. So there are three methods to control the speed of shunt motor. Okay, so first method we call as armature resistance control method. So here you can see on the y-axis we have speed, on the x-axis we have torque. So if we increase the R value, if we increase the resistance value, so what will result? Here there will be no effect. So no load speed will be same. Okay, but as you are increasing this R value, the slope, negative slope will increase. Okay, so you can see here for R is equal to R1 we are having this line, speed torque characteristic. For R is equal to R2 we are having this line. For R is equal to R3 and R is equal to R4. As we are increasing R, the slope is getting more. Okay, so this negative slope is getting more. And if we are having load torque characteristic something like this, drawn by this blue line, so intersection of motor torque speed characteristic and load torque, that will result in the speed of the drive. Okay, so here it is running at omega m1 for resistance corresponding to R1, and for resistance corresponding to R2 it is running at omega m2, then at omega m3 and omega m4. So we can shift the speed, or we can change the speed by changing the R value. Okay, so more R value means lesser will be the speed of the drive. Okay, so this is very simple method. We can use one rheostat to simply control the speed of the shunt motor. But the main problem is there will be more I square R losses in the circuit. So this is not an efficient method. This is simple but not an efficient method. Second method we can have by controlling the voltage here. So you can see here this V upon K phi minus this. So if we change voltage only, so there will be no effect. So it will be a constant value. Okay, that means slope will be the same. So we are getting parallel lines, but no load speed will change. Okay, if we are having lesser voltage, so characteristic will shift downward, but all these lines will be parallel to each other. So you can see here for V is equal to V1 we are having this characteristic, then for V is equal to V2 if we are decreasing the voltage, the characteristic will shift downward. Then for V is equal to V3 we are getting this characteristic, for V is equal to V4, like that. If we are having load torque characteristic something like this, so intersection of motor torque characteristic and load torque characteristic will be the speed at which the drive will run at steady state. So this is running at omega m1. Now at this point it is running at omega m2. At this point it is running at omega m3 and omega m4, like that. Okay, so this is again more efficient method, but the problem is that we require variable voltage system. Okay, so that we can change voltage as per our need. Now the third method is to control the field. So in field circuit you can see, so if we change the field circuit resistance something like that, so we have to change the flux. So from BH curve you can see if you are changing I, then flux will get changed. So we are considering here only the magnetic core is not in saturation. So as resistance is getting changed, the flux field current will get changed, so flux will get changed. Okay, so we have to decrease the flux. If we decrease the flux, so this quantity will change, also this quantity will get changed. If we decrease the flux, so this will increase, that means no load speed will increase, also the slope will become more steep, or slope will also increase. Okay, we cannot increase flux beyond rated value because there will be saturation problem in the machine. So we are only decreasing the flux. So here you can see we are having one uh, motor characteristic, torque characteristic like this at phi is equal to phi 1, then another at phi is equal to phi 2. You can see we decrease the flux, so no load speed is increased and slope also increased. Now as phi is equal to phi 3, the no load speed further increase and slope also increase. Now if we are having load torque characteristic as this, represented with this blue line, so intersection of this point corresponding to phi 1, it will run at this speed, then phi is equal to phi 2, the drive will run at omega m2, then phi is equal to phi 3, it will run at omega 3. So this method is very efficient, but it is applied for higher speed, especially beyond the rated speed. Okay. So this is about the shunt motors and separately excited DC motor. Now coming to the series motor. So in series motor, the field winding is in series with the armature winding. Okay, that means the current in the series, the current in the armature winding and in the field winding will be same. So we are giving a supply voltage across these two windings, that is V. The current drawn from the motor is IA. So here R is the total resistance, that is resistance of the armature circuit and resistance of the field circuit plus one additional resistance that is connected in series, so that we can get variable resistance in the circuit. Okay, so here field current is same as that of armature current. Now again we can write the basic equation. So supplied voltage V will be equal to back EMF voltage E plus IAR. R is the total resistance. Okay, again back EMF we can write K phi omega m. So this is equation 2. So we are considering linear magnetic circuit, that means it is not in saturation. So phi will be proportional to the field current, or phi is equal to Kf into If. Okay. And also torque equation, like in the previous case, we can write like K phi into Ia. Okay. Now flux we can replace from equation 3. So we have written in place of flux, we have written Kf into If. So this is Kf If into Ia. So if we collect the terms, so If is equal to Ia, you can see field current is equal to armature current. So this is Kf Ia square. So this is equation 4. From equation 4 we can write the armature current will be square root torque upon Kkf. Okay. Now from equation 1 we can write back EMF is equal to V minus IAR. Substitute the value of back EMF, that is K phi omega m is equal to V minus Ia into R. Okay, now again substitute phi value from here. So this is Kf Ia times omega m is equal to V minus IAR. So omega m we can write V upon Kf Ia minus R upon Kf, because Ia gets cancelled from these two. Now in place of Ia we can substitute from equation 4, that is square root P upon Kf. Substitute here. So we are finally getting this expression. Speed torque equation for DC series motor is this one. Okay. So this is similar to some constant A upon root T plus some B. Okay. So you can see from this equation, its torque is equal to 0. So if we substitute torque is equal to 0 here, so this term will become infinite. Okay, that means for small torque the speed is infinite. So we from torque 0, the speed infinite, then at some point these two terms will become equal, that means it will intersect the x-axis. So it is intersecting here. So you can find what will be that point. You equate these two, find the torque value. Okay, so this intersection point you can find from this. Just equate this equal to 0, solve for torque value, you will get the position at which it will be 0. It will torque value you can find corresponding to 0 speed. Okay, So this is you may know that for DC motors it should not run at no load. Why? Because when torque requirement is zero, the speed could be dangerously high, and the centrifugal forces will be very high on the machine, and the parts may get away. Okay, so DC series motor should never run at no load condition. Okay, because at no load the speed is corresponding to infinite. It is very high. Okay. Now again we can obtain the speed control similar to that of DC shunt motors. So you can see from this relationship. So we can change again V, we can change R, or we can change KF. Okay, and correspondingly we can get the characteristics. Okay, so you can see if we are increasing the R value, if we will increase the R value, so this slope will this characteristic will shift downwards. Okay, so it is shifting downward because it will intercept this much before. So as we increase the resistance value, the characteristic will shift downwards. Okay, if we are having load torque characteristic something like this. So the intersection point will give the steady steady state speed. So this is running at this speed corresponding to R is equal to R1. For R is equal to R2, it is running at this speed. For R is equal to R3, it is running at this speed. Similarly, R is equal to R4, it is running at this speed. Okay. So again, this is a simple method. But what is the problem with this? Again, the I square R losses will be more in the circuit. Similarly, we can have voltage control. So if we decrease the voltage, the characteristic again will shift downward like this. Okay, because this we are getting less for corresponding to the torque value. If this quantity is less, we are getting less speed. Okay, so this characteristic again is shifting downward side. You can see here. So if you are having load torque characteristic something this, so intersection with this point, the drive is running at omega m1. Intersection at corresponding to V equal to V2, the drive is running at omega m2. Similarly, for V is equal to V3, the drive is running at omega m3. Okay. Now the third method is field control method. So by changing KF, so in field control method actually we are having one diverter resistance. So the current that is coming to the field is diverted based on the resistance value. Okay, so that means the current through the field can be controlled, or the flux in this circuit will get controlled. Okay, now there are two problems and solution also given in this. Just read the problem and check for the solution. If you are unable to understand this, please let me know. I will explain in the next class. Okay, similarly I am having another problem. Problem is given and solution is also provided. Just go through these basic problems, and if you have any difficulty, please let me know, then I will discuss in next class. Okay, thank you.